Hey everybody, Spider-Man fans, this is for you, because Spider-Man fans are right now. There is so much good Spider-Man stuff coming out all the time, even when there's an equal amount of bad Spider-Man stuff coming out as well. My name is Oliver the Ricketts, and one of the things that I do here on this channel is I document all things Spider-Man as it is happening so I can look back and see how I felt about it at that time. It's not just for clicks. But if that's something that you are interested in, definitely feel free to subscribe and like the video. It helps out a lot. I also do a lot of other content on here, including a new video that's coming out about the state of AMC theaters, which is taking up a lot of my time. It'll be the longest video on this channel. And so we got to do a little bit of filler, and that's okay. Filler can work too. Recently for National Spider-Man Day, I did a Spider-Man stream. And in that stream, I talked about the new trailer for Spider-Man 2, Insomniac Spider-Man 2, the game on the PS5. You've heard of it. And normally I would have just left that as part of the stream, but I do think it turned into a good discussion about my expectations for the game as somebody who doesn't play video games. So I thought, let's give it an edit, let's dress it up, and let's put it out as its own big time video. Please enjoy, and I will see you next week for another video. But I thought maybe I'd also take a look at the PS4 trailer, or the PS5. I haven't watched the story trailer for the new Spider-Man game. I have a pretty good idea just because they dropped that gameplay trailer. I actually did a whole stream where I talked about it, a really long stream where I talked about it. The gameplay in Spider-Man 2 looks incredible. I can't wait to play the game. I think it's one of the more exciting Spider-Man things coming up that we can still look forward to. They recently, 11 days ago, a PS5 Spider-Man 2 story trailer dropped where we get to see a little bit more of the story, and we were right about a lot of it. I'm going to take a look at this. It's going to be an interesting thing.
I'm even sitting here now.
With this game, because as many of you know, I don't play video games that often. I did play Spider-Man, the first game, to disastrous results. Anybody who actually did play video games wouldn't have a broken mic hanging off of their headphones, but they still work for my purposes. Maybe I'll get new headphones eventually. Watch more videos. But I love the story of that first Spider-Man game. I have no doubt that I'll love the story of this game as well, and just how well they realized the vision of being Spider-Man in New York City. As I said about the gameplay trailer, I think it looks amazing, but the story is really what I'm there for. The gameplay just kind of gets in the way for me because I'm not into video games. So let's take a look and hope that the story takes up more of the game than the game.
I'm gonna take advantage of that, but I need you with me, Pete.
I would have never in a million years recognized that that was Peter Parker from the original game. Hold on a second. Look at that. This is the whole thing. I know that they've redesigned Spider-Man's face a few times. When it first came out, he had a totally different face that I personally think was the best because it looks like an older Peter Parker, which is what the game is about. A seasoned Spider-Man who's been around for a while. And then they did this, which in my opinion, I know some people have told me that I'm wrong. They did this redesign so that they could have a Spider-Man that looked like Tom Holland in their game. That's called corporate synergy, folks. This doesn't look like that. Why did they redesign him again? This must be Harry. I thought this was gonna be Peter Parker, like in a flashback. This doesn't look like this, and it definitely doesn't look like this. What is happening? Please just go back to this. This was dope. He looks like haggard and tired, and like being Spider-Man is a big stress on him, and that's what we want to see. We never want to see happy Spider-Man, unless we're talking about him marrying Mary Jane and having a kid. Then we definitely want to see happy Spider-Man.
They love me.
He should look tired. He should never look like this, really. He looks even less tired. All that being said, I'll get over that in about 10 seconds when I actually play the game. Oh, it looks sick. Okay, it wasn't a flashback because look, he still looks like that. I don't know that in a lot of Spider-Man media we've had Harry and Miles actually interacting with each other because he's more of a Peter Parker character, obviously. That is one cool thing I like about these games is that Peter and Miles are not separate. You get to see how Miles fits into Peter's world. When I first started reading Miles, Peter was dead. That was actually a concept in the Spider-Men book. That was one of the big things I liked about that book was like Miles meeting Aunt May, which we saw in the last game. Here he'll get to interact with Harry. He'll get to interact with with Mary Jane even more so than he did last time. I think that that's pretty cool. Another thing that I like when Spider-Man does, let's have Peter Parker wearing more suits. Looks like he's at a formal event and it gets interrupted by being Spider-Man. That's like one of the things that I like. I know that's stupid, but I like it. Is he a waiter here? I'm a fan. Do we think that Miles might get the symbiote at some point? Just a theory. I don't know that that's what's going to happen, but they have confirmed that Venom is not Eddie Brock in this game, which I guess makes sense because you would have wanted Eddie in the story already. I don't at all buy into the theory that it's going to be Peter Parker. I don't think that they would have Peter be the villain of the game, and I don't know that I really want to see Peter be Venom. I love the idea of him going a little bit darker when he gets the symbiote suit, but I don't love the idea of him abandoning his principles altogether. Like, he would just be a darker Spider-Man. I think it's pretty obvious that Venom is going to be Harry because we're introducing both Venom and Harry at the same time. End of the last game, you had Harry in that tube. I guess we all thought he was going to be the Goblin, but I think you could just as easily pull off Harry being Venom. To my knowledge, that hasn't happened in the comics, though, which I think is very cool. I love that this is taking some risks and going a little bit off book, and so then for people who are hardcore fans and know the story pretty well, we can get changes and we can get new takes on these characters that don't compromise on who the characters are. I think that that's pretty cool. Oh, it looks so beautiful. And I love that idea that it's going to be a game where Miles, for a lot of it, is a good guy, and Peter Parker is the antagonist. Now, I didn't say villain. I don't want Peter to be a villain, but I love the idea of him antagonizing the other characters, of him turning into his darker side, especially a Peter Parker in this game who is going to be going through tragedy. We had Aunt May die in the last game. He probably feels very alone. He's still not with Mary Jane that we know of here. I could see this going that Harry comes back into his life at a vulnerable stage.
There he is. There he is.
He gets manipulated by the Osborns. He goes a little too hard as Spider-Man, and then Miles is going to have to be the one who drags him back. I also heard a lot of people saying they don't like the lizard design. I'm a big fan, and I love the idea of the lizard as more of just an animal who does lizard. You know what I mean? Like, the lizard wasn't a guy who thought. Dr. Connors would have scientific theory, and then the lizard would think about lizard. And that looks like what's going on here. I also love that we're doing real Kraven. Like Kraven who's going to hunt the lizard and probably hunt Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of that. I want Kraven to be the worst. I want him to be a huge jerk. I don't want Aaron Taylor Johnson Kraven. Oh, and he looks so good too. Look at him. He looks so good. Oh, we got Norman in there, which is very exciting. Yeah, he looks sick. Yeah, that's very exciting. I absolutely can't wait. Full stop. Now, folks, in the meantime, I do want to remind you of the most important channel on YouTube, which is, of course, mine. And you can see here, we're hard at work. We're doing what we do. We're making content. I hate calling it content, but new videos. Trying to do a little bit of everything, including talking about Spider-Man, talking about food, talking about social experiments and strange happenings. I'm doing it all here on the channel. And the only way that I can continue to do things like that is with your support. So please consider going and subscribing to other productions and media. It is greatly appreciated. If you're watching one of my videos, toss it a like. I'm Oliver the Ricketts. I love Spider-Man. I'll see you next time.